Hi and welcome to Shadow School. My name is Matt Sandbank. Today we are making runner puppets. Now stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you a simple way to use this runner puppet to make a chase scene. Let's get started. Here are the materials you need for this shadow puppet. I believe this runner can be made with just a single panel of cereal box cardboard. Let's put that claim to the test. And for the runner, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the head. We're going to start with just a stick figure. So let's make a head that's plenty big like that. And runners are kind of leaning forward. So I'm going to turn this just a little bit to kind of remind myself that this runner's kind of oriented this way. And let's do like a little neck like that to give, like I said, some forward momentum that way. And then let's go down with the body. And for the leg, we'll do just a check mark like this. Okay, and let's not forget the foot. So kind of like a zigzag. You could start from the foot if you wanted instead. I like to start with the head because I find a lot of times it's hard to get the proportions right. So I like to start with the head. But you could also start with the foot and just do kind of this lightning bolt straight up, then a neck and the head. That would work fine too. And the arms, of course, are going to go like two check marks down and up like this, and a little circle. And then, oh, let's give some shoulders so we have a better idea of where those arms go. And then down and down like that. You'll be noticing now that it only has one leg. We're going to give him another leg in just a few moments. Okay, let's start by giving some definition to the head. I'm going to add a nose here, just a kind of rounded triangle like that. Give him a little lip like that. And he's running away from something, so let's make him look a little scared. Like that. All right. And then I'm going to add a little bit more to the head. Your characters' heads can usually be bigger than you're imagining. The eye doesn't mind seeing a very, very large head on a character. Even if it's slightly out of proportion on the large side, that's fine. And then we're just going to go down this skeleton and add some meat to the bones, if you will. Nothing too scientific about it, just adding a little extra body to that stick figure. Just on either side. You can add whatever sort of details you want here. If you wanted to give this character clothes, I think that it'll be fine without. This leg might be a little long. We'll see. That will probably work for us just fine. For the foot, we'll just do little kind of rounded toe like he's wearing shoes, and then little heel there. Now, I've gone a little bit on this flap you see down here. That'll make that puppet kind of fall, like pull away from the screen a little bit. You want to avoid drawing over the fold. This is why I usually cut them away, but this won't ruin our puppet too badly. Let's not forget the hands here. Little thumb and then some knuckles. You can get away with just doing 3 knuckles rather than 4. That's not going to disturb anyone's visual understanding of the puppet. Usually we're fine seeing 3 fingers instead of 4 on top there. No one will bat an eye at that. Okay, so this is the main chunk of our runner puppet. Now to make the other leg, it's going to be an exact copy of this leg. So what I'd like to do is cut this figure out first and then use the piece that's cut out to trace out the second leg. So let's go ahead and cut this fellow out. And as I often do, I'm going to do kind of a rough cut here, just so I'm dealing with less cardboard. Make my job as easy as possible. All right, now you can see I can reach into that puppet a lot easier. My cutting technique is to take really small cuts using the back end of the scissors that's closest to my fingers, so I have the most control there. Using the back end of those scissors, using really small cuts, and using my left hand here to steer. Now, if you're left-handed, you'll do that in reverse. You'll be cutting with your left hand and steering with your right hand. And if you are left-handed, I do lots of residencies here and there, out and about, and I always see the kids who are left-handed struggling a lot, it really helps if you're left-handed to get a pair of left-handed scissors. You're living in a right-handed world, and if you're going to be doing a decent amount of cutting, it really helps to have some lefty scissors. I wish that every place I went had a few pairs of left-handed scissors in reserve. That's me on my soapbox. So let's keep going. If you accidentally cut a little inside the line, it's not a huge deal. Shadow puppetry is a very forgiving art form. Your audience will forgive you. They won't actually even notice the difference. They don't see the lines that you drew. They only see the shape that you cut. So if you make a mistake, don't lose heart. And if you make such a big bad mistake that you have to start over, all you've done is you've lost a little bit of card stock and a little bit of time. You haven't even lost the time because you have learned a lesson. That said, some of the drawing lessons I've learned over the years, I've had to learn over and over again. Just because you learn a lesson doesn't mean you're going to learn it the first time necessarily. Okay, so here we've got the main body of the runner. Let's see if I was right about being able to use just one piece of cardboard to make that runner. Let's see if we can fit that leg on there. Was I right? Close enough to right. We'll make that work. If you don't like cutting a piece that's quite on the edge of the cardboard like this, you can always take a new scrap of cardboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace this leg onto this cardboard. And you can see I'm going to have to cheat just a few of these lines here. It's not a perfect trace, but, well, it's not a perfect fit, I should say, on this cardboard, but that's okay because this puppet is going to be running, so you're not going to have time to take a really close look at each of those, the direct symmetry of those pieces. So we're going to cut out this second leg. Now, this runner, like a lot of my puppet characters, they're interesting based on the what they are. The runner is not interesting so much because of what it is as what it can do. This is a puppet made entirely based on its action, the ability for it to run. And I'll show you in the part after the skit how you can use this running mechanism and adapt it to any other needs you might have. Let's go ahead and put a dot right here, and we'll punch that hole out right on the dot. Let's see, what we want is for it to line up pretty much exactly with this other leg, and then put a dot there, punch that hole. Now you want to make sure that your loose leg, just the single piece leg, is on top. If it's on bottom, this puppet mechanism won't end up working. Line up the holes, drop the brad through, pinch it down, fold it over, and separate the tabs like that. And you see this is how that running mechanism is achieved. And so we just now need to tape 2 straws on. Puppet's flat on the table, straw will be sticking straight up in the air. The first straw can kind of start at the shoulders with the bend and go straight up to the middle of the head. And for that, we're going to need to kind of wrap this piece of tape around the neck. That's okay. The puppet won't mind. It's not the tidiest job taping a straw I've ever done, but it'll work. And then let's add another piece of tape up here on the top of the straw to make sure it's really on there. And you'll see that I've put a tape over this part of the mouth. That's fine, that's not going to show up, but it will be sticky, so to avoid it sticking on the screen, I'm going to put another piece of tape on the other side. That way the sticky part won't get stuck on the screen, and the audience probably won't notice this little tab of clear tape there. Second straw goes on the leg. You want the bend of the straw to go next to the joint, and then the straw should end up right about at that knee. And you can see that the puppet can then move this a ways. Now what you're seeing here is what will happen is these legs want to get stuck to each other. So what you can do is just give that leg a little bend and this leg a little bend. You don't want to put a crease in the puppet. You just want to kind of train that puppet away so that those legs kind of stay clear of one another. And there's a runner. Now, once you have made one runner puppet, I would recommend making a second runner puppet that is an exact copy of the first one, but with the rods turned on the other side, so that way you can make your puppet very easily run one way across the screen and then the next while it's getting chased by whatever you want. Thanks so much for joining me today at Shadow School. My name is Matt Sandbank. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe if you enjoy making things like these runner puppets with me. Thank you so much. See you next time.